Good evening. Welcome to Fountain Lake here in Bird Park. I'm Thad Williamson, and this is the very first installment of our Lakeside Chat series. This is going to be something we're going to do about once a week during my campaign to represent the 5th District and City Council, just to share with you informally some thoughts on issues of importance to the district and the city as a whole. So today, very first installment, I'm going to be focusing on the big question, the first question to ask anyone, which is, why are you running for City Council? Who are you? Why are you running? I'm a professor at the University of Richmond. I've lived here 14 years, came here from Boston, grew up in North Carolina, and I have been always deeply involved throughout my entire adult life, stretching all the way back even to high school, with issues of social justice, in both an academic sense, but also in a very practical sense. You know, how do we actually work to build a more equitable, just society? And so it was really interesting to come here with that perspective to a place like Richmond, which in many ways is like a caricature of urban injustice. Here in Richmond, we have legacies of racial injustice embedded in our housing, in our education system, in our access to health care, and access to transportation. Encoded in the very structure of local government. And you can actually draw a direct line historically between essentially the entire history of racial oppression in the United States and the current institutional structures and policy problems that we have today. So it's really kind of jarring to come here and be aware of, oh, this is what Richmond is. But then the harder thing is, okay, how do we become something else? And realizing there are in fact people here who have been working or are working, who will be working to change the trajectory of our city. And my passion, you know, my goal for as long as I am a resident of Richmond, which I anticipate will be a long time, is to do whatever I can to help us change our city's trajectory from being that past capital of the Confederacy to what we need to be, which is the capital of community wealth building, the capital of racial equity, and do whatever I can to assist in that change. I believe that City Council is a venue in which I am positioned to make a tangible difference by virtue of not only my academic work, but my practical experience in city government, actually rolling up the sleeves, actually getting into the budget books, and figuring out what we can do with what we have to start changing things here and now. Because of the work I've been involved in as a community member and being called in, answering the call to become the director of the Office of Community Wealth Building when it first started, putting the recommendations of the Anti-Poverty Commission into practice, you know, as well as related work. I know that hundreds of Richmonders every day are getting better access to jobs, every year getting more access for students to after-school programs, to preschool reading materials, to support in applying to college or moving on to career. And at an even higher policy level, I know that the work I've been part of collectively has led to better funding for schools, beginning to address some of our school facilities needs. That's all well and good, but I'm the first to say it's not enough. And I am deeply concerned about making more progress on education, about real tangible progress on fighting poverty, tackling that 25% poverty rate, continuing the momentum along that, addressing our housing needs, and critical to all that is just making local government work more effectively. The knowledge I have from the inside of a very complex institution, I can bring to bear to help the residents of this district. So that's why I'm running. I'm asking for your support. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next installment of Lakeside Talks, Lakeside Chats, and one more time, enjoy this view. Authorized by Thad Williamson for Richmond City Council. Good night, y'all.